Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel if you've been here before, or hello if you are new. So I've had an idea for a while that I wanted to do a series on skin tones, because I know a lot of people can be kind of intimidated when it comes to skin, and I just thought it would be good to, kind of show you how I do it. So yeah, we are working in Flower Girls collection, Colour in Heaven, and these have images by Mayumi Yogihara and Anastasia Ellie Caldereva. So I thought I would do Cherry Blossom Girl. And to kick us off, I thought I would use Arrtx pencils, as that's quite a common pencil that a lot of people have. So yeah, basically. So I've decided I want to do her in a kind of oh dear, a very kind of pink toned type skin. So that's what we're gonna do, and I hope this is useful for some people. Let me just do a quick sharpen. Now, I'll be honest, I don't actually know if I have ever used the Arrtx pencils for a skin tone. So that will be interesting to see. But yeah, I'll be zooming you in a second and we'll be getting started. So I do my skin in layers. Basically layers is what I like to do. Sorry, that was my ginormous hand there. Let's see. I think you can see most of her face there. So yeah, and first of all I am going to use, I don't know if you can see that, but this is Peach Puff, which is not entirely sure of the number, but this is Peach Puff. So all I am going to do is just put a really light layer of this all over her skin. Now you may not be able to see the colour, and I apologise if that is the case, but just believe me that there is colour there, I promise. Like I said, I really like to layer my skin. I don't think I've ever really tried just going in with heavy colour straight away. I personally find layering gives me the best result. I'm not entirely sure how long this video will be, or if I am going to need to split it up into multiple parts. We shall see. I wanted to do a reasonably large face so you could, kind of really see what I am up to. But then obviously it's going to take longer. So I have a couple of ideas for this series, but I would also like to know what you think. So my plan is to do various pencil sets that I have with various skin tones. However, I would like to know, would you like me to kind of break things down into, say, beginners, and then, you like more advanced things? Or do you just want me to, just do videos as however I do them kind of thing, if that makes sense. Because I'm thinking, like, you know, for more of a beginners, it would be, you know, fewer pencils used and such. Whereas for a more advanced one would be a lot more pencils used and various, you know, undertone layers, including kind of more strange colours for your shadows and stuff. So yeah, just let me know what you would kind of like to see. Am I on camera? I am, I think. So I got my camera up a little bit higher than I normally do to try and stop me whacking my head against it constantly. But that means I can't just look up to make sure I am, you know, on camera. So yeah, this is, like I said, you know, this is going to be probably quite a long video. It might break it up into those different parts. We'll see how we go. But basically, the very first thing you want to do is to just do a really, really light layer of, well, in this case, of our peach puff. As I said, I want her to be quite fair skinned, with kind of a pink, more of a pinky undertone. So the reason why I do lots of layers is because it gives you so many chances to kind of change things up a bit. So if you kind of decide, oh, actually I want her to have more of a golden toned skin, you can, you know, easily change it. Like, I don't know if I've been yeah, you can kind of just about see the difference between her face and her neck. Her neck is whiter, so yeah, you can see a bit of a difference. But all we're gonna do is start off with this peach puff and just really gently pop this colour down. So I'm not going to bother about doing the hair or the flowers or any of that. I do just want to kind of concentrate on the skin tones. Now, when I do skin, I don't leave any areas of white. You know, if you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't have white on your skin. Unless you're wearing kind of makeup or something. Okay, so that's kind of the first layer of my face done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over it again with the same colour, so with the peach puff, and we're just going to do a little tiny bit harder. Not much, but just a little bit around, you know, kind of the edge of her face. And stuff. Because that's kind of where we're going to put our most obvious shadows kind of thing. So we'll just do it a little bit darker Again, I don't really know if you can see the difference. I apologise. But I did just want to do, you know, quite, I don't know. I don't want to call it a tutorial, but kind of. More of just how I do it. And kind of cross my fingers that some people might find it helpful. Going a bit more down this side. So I was using this Colour in Heaven book to try and get used to using alcohol markers. I did 2 pages and then I was just kind of like, I don't get along a huge amount with alcohol markers, which is something I would like to work on this year. But yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna go. I don't know if you can. You probably can't read this because it's the lighting is really weird. But this is seashell pink. And what we're gonna do is basically the exact same thing again. So I'm gonna start on the edges. And just put in a nice light colour. And kind of add in nose a little bit. I am awful at doing noses, but I do try. I apologise if you can kind of hear a fan type thing in the background. That is my heater. I've got a very small heater in here because at the moment South Wales is absolutely freezing cold. So yeah, I've been using a heater to try and keep warm. Okay, I'm just going to do this very lightly over the rest of her skin as well. I know it seems pointless because it's kind of like, oh well, you're just covering up, you know, your previous layer, but I honestly do find that adding the layers definitely seems to give you more, I don't know, dimension and stuff, I guess would be the word, than just like, if I just went in heavy with kind of, you know, one colour and then went in heavy with a different colour for the shadows. I find that building it up really does help, you know, kind of get you a more realistic skin looking. I don't know. But you know, it's obviously not the only way you can do it. This is just how I do it, and I thought I would share in case it's helpful to anyone. So as I was saying at the start of the video, I kind of want to do, you know, a lot of different skin tones in all of my pencil sets. So that will probably end up being quite a lot of videos, if I am honest. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, now I'm going to start adding in a bit of shadow. And to do that, I'm going to use dark salmon. I keep wanting to go to her neck, but I know it's not on camera. And I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. You just do the exact same thing, to be honest. So I'm just going to start going in really lightly with this. Again, this is the dark salmon. And we're going to just start popping this where we know we're going to have some shadows. So I find, sorry for the silence, by the way, I was concentrating, apparently. Shadows on your face for, you know, a forward-facing portrait like this. You know, obviously kind of around the edges of your face is going to be more shadowed. You know, side of your nose, kind of corner bits of your eyes, around your eyes will be a little shadowed, so on and so forth. You know, a little bit kind of between your eye and your nose. Tends to be in shadow a little bit for, you know, it kind of curves up, starts to curve up a bit. That side of her nose is really weird. I don't know what I've done there, but oh well. Personally, I find skin tones pretty easy. Especially if I'm doing, you know, quite a fair skin tone, because that's what I am. And, you know, the easiest way to do pretty much anything is to use, you know, reference photos and whatever. But you can also just kind of look in the mirror and see, you know, what bits kind of shadowed, what bits aren't, so on and so forth. I think I need a bit more on this side. And I absolutely love doing skin. Absolutely love it. I can spend hours just playing around and adding layers and so on and so forth. However, problem with skin, it tends to come with hair. And while I do enjoy doing hair, I tend to only really enjoy it for like, I don't know, maybe half an hour or so. And then I just get bored of it. And it's just like, ugh. It's so annoying not to finish a portrait after finish the hair. Okay, so we're just going to blend them in a little bit on these sides. I apologise if none of this is making a huge amount of sense. I am not a teacher by any means of the imagination. Not at all. Right, so now I'm going to go in with English in with Venetian red. And I'm going to start adding this in. Again, just really lightly. I tend to have quite a very light touch when it comes to pencils. And as you can see, I am holding my pencil very, very close to the tip. I definitely don't recommend that if you tend to have a heavier pressure. But I have spent quite a long time kind of trying to make sure that I have good control over what I do with my pencils, kind of thing. So if you do struggle, hold it way back and do that. But I find I can't be precise enough when I do that, so I just make sure I just use, you know, barely touching the paper kind of thing. Because this is quite, you know, a strong colour. Can I find anything? Not really. Ah, there we go. Just ignore the mess. But like, if I was to colour, so this is kind of how I am colouring. Just really lightly like that. Am I even on camera? I don't even know. Just really lightly like that. Whereas like the normal depth of this pencil, it's kind of that. You can really see the difference. And you don't want to go that heavy. Most definitely not. Now, I am going to start putting this on her lips. I'm not very good when it comes to doing lips, I'll be honest. It's something I need to work on. But I figure this is quite a good base, I think, to start with. So how is everyone doing today? If anyone is still here. What are you colouring? What have you been colouring? Do you find doing portraits and skin intimidating? Or do you enjoy doing it? Are you like me and you could colour skin for days on end? And when it comes to the hair, it's kind of like, I'm bored after half an hour. Okay, so that was the Venetian red. Now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go over with light peach. So we are just gonna go over very lightly over everything we've done with the light peach. Now this is just gonna kind of hopefully just tone down the pink just a little bit, because we don't want her to look like, you know, she's got severe sunburn. And using the peach is just going to help start doing that. It's almost how I apply a pencil. It's almost like you're just very, very gently, I don't know, kind of buffing the paper almost. Just, you know, really, really gently. Going over, you know, doing your layers. And just kind of building it up as you go. I do find it kind of difficult to explain what I'm doing, I guess. So I'm kind of hoping as we kind of go on, you'll, you know, kind of start to see what I'm doing rather than me trying to explain it, because, yeah, words are hard. Words are hard. So I'm still going with a light pressure, not as light as I had started doing, but still pretty light. Yeah. And even though I want her to be, you know, pretty fair-skinned, you do still want to have some quite deep shadows. Because in my opinion, that is kind of what what am I trying to say? Makes it almost kind of, you know, pop off the page, so to say. is to have that contrast between your light areas and your dark areas. So, that's looking okay at the moment. So at this stage, you kind of want to determine, where you want your highlights. Do you want a really bright highlight or, more gentle one, and so on and so forth. So, kind of around here, I think. So I'm just going to kind of go under just a little bit. I am no good when it comes to like makeup. So I have no idea about contouring and stuff like that. So if you do, then you'll probably find this easier, because you kind of know where you would want to put your highlight and such. It is a bit that I kind of struggle at. So I kind of just wing it a little bit. And you kind of want to really try and concentrate on your nose. Try to make it so there's not a definitive line kind of thing. So you want to bring the colour, on both sides of that darker bit, and just try to kind of buff it out a little bit. Now, I've always been told that the nose kind of consists of 3 circles. Kind of like that. Oh, sorry, I think I just hit the camera. Sorry about that if I did. And you want to basically colour each circle kind of individually. So you've kind of got like 3 spheres almost. It is a bit difficult doing it with a drawn-in nose kind of thing, because your nose doesn't have lines, it's just all shading. So I'm just going around and adding this, what was it, light peach? Yeah, light peach. Just around in places where I think it needs it. And this is kind of where, practice comes into it. It's when you want to, you kind of step back, have a look and think, okay, up here I think needs a little bit more going on. And kind of just want to build this area up a bit more. And here, it just looks like she's got a bad sunburn, so I'm just going to put a little bit more of the peach over here. And I kind of lost, you know, that bit of shadow from her hair there. So I'm just going to kind of go in and pop that back in, kind of thing. You know, things like that. Now, okay, so now I'm going in with the peach puff again. And I just want to start adding in, you know, a bit of a rosy cheek. So I'm just going to decide, you know, kind of where I want that. And kind of apply that in. Again, this would be where if you've kind of got knowledge of, you know, makeup and stuff, it would probably come in handy. And I'm just going to go straight over these petals because they are going to be pink anyway when I do eventually come and finish this page off. Sorry, I have things encroaching on me here. Alright, now I'm going to go in with just peach. Again, just going to start adding this in. Just trying to remember where you would like to keep your highlights. And so on and so forth. As you can probably see, I do tend to jump around quite a lot. I'll be doing one area and then I'll be like, oh, this area here needs a bit more. And, you know, this one here needs a bit more. Kind of like that. So I'm currently just trying to kind of contour chin area a little bit. And I'm doing that by just kind of feeling my own face. Almost. And just trying to figure out where would be a bit darker, where would be lighter. So I think she is starting to look quite pretty. Now I'm gonna go back in with the no, not that one. Gonna go back in with the no. Yeah, let's use the dark salmon again. And start kind of, you know, making our shadows just a little bit more pronounced at the moment. Now I am going to be going in with some other colours for shadows. But again, where we've kind of been going over with, you know, various colours and such, you know, you may have found that you've kind of lost a bit of your shadows in places, so you just kind of want to go back in and just kind of redo them a bit. Okay. Now, what do I want? I want something kind of neutral. Let's try this. So this is iron oxide brown. And again, you know, just go in really lightly. Because it is so much easier to add more pigment than it is to try and kind of take it away. So like I said, just do everything in layers, lots of layers. And as you get more confident, you can start to kind of deepen up your shadows more. I'm gonna go into the nose. The nose is always a difficult beast, so to say. You know, like I said, you don't want a line, but you do want to, you know, make sure you have quite a good shadow there. But you don't want it to turn into just like a line. And yeah, I am still very much kind of working on trying to, I don't know, I guess sculpt would be the right word. Kind of trying to sculpt the nose into how I want it. So feel free to, you know, skip ahead or pop me on fast forward if you want to. You know, that's no problem at all. Sorry, I'm sure I keep hitting the camera. So I'm just doing just a little tiny bit of a line there, just to try and determine where the edge of her nose is. And I'm just gonna go in really gently. I am trying to kind of explain what I'm doing, but I don't know how well that is going. But I'm kind of hoping that, you know, what I'm showing you, you can figure it out. Mist up here. As you can maybe hear, I am starting to press, you know, a little bit heavier in places. Like I said, you know, as you go on and things start to kind of take shape of how you want them, you will start to feel a bit more confident and be like, okay, well, I know this is a shadow, so I'm gonna make it a shadow, you know. Rather than kind of being like, I don't want to go too dark. This is why we do layers, because we can just build it up. Sorry for the noise, that is the rabbit. Always just build it up. And, you know, you may be happy with how this is now, and if that's the case, then feel free to stop here. That's absolutely fine. But I'm going to keep going for a bit, because, yeah, I just want a bit more to it, I think, at the moment. I'm just trying to darken up some areas. So as you can see here, we've got a bit of a contour going around the eye, and, you know, kind of to the top of the cheek. And I think I want the same over here, and I don't have that at the moment, so I need to kind of bring the shadow further in a bit, I think. If you find an area is getting maybe a little bit too brown, you can go back in with your dark peach. No, your peach. Is this peach? Yes, just like just your peach. And just bring in a bit more of that, rather than, you know, her skin just turning more brown, kind of thing. This is what I mean by layering. Just go back and forth until you are happy with what you have. I want just a little bit darker here. not much, but just a little bit, because yeah. Okay, going back in with the iron oxide brown again now. Now we're just going to continue trying to kind of sculpt his nose a little bit more. Like I said, you know, this is kind of an experimentation for me as well, because I've not used the Arrtx as far as I can remember for skin before. So I don't know exactly what I am doing. Okay, I'm going to bring this down a bit. That's a bit, got a bit of an angle on it, and I don't like that, so we're gonna just gently kind of bring this out. And then just a bit of a shadow. Kind of for her chin. Again, you don't want it to be kind of like a definite line. Just want to do it very, very lightly, so you know kind of what you're doing. Right, now I am going to go in with this is Wisteria, and we're going to go back in over our shadows with the Wisteria. I absolutely love using a kind of muted purple lavender kind of colour for shadows. I don't know, I just find that it tends to give you a lot more depth and just sticking to, you know, darker peaches, browns, so on and so forth. I just love the look it gives. Now, if you're being brave, you can go in with, you know, a more dramatic kind of shadow colour. But we'll not do that at the moment. Even though I am kind of wanting to. So I'm liking that side of the nose. I'm not liking this side quite so much. I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know if you can hear that, by the way, but if you can, that is my cat snoring on my lap. And he is making my legs go dead, which is, yeah, slightly painful. But, you know, cats rule, you cannot disturb them. Okay. Now, I think I want to bring out her blush a bit more. So, what do I want to use? Maybe just pink. Oh no, blush pink. Ah. Well, that works, doesn't it? And I always find it tricky to, like, know where to place, you know, your blush and stuff. But I just want to... try and give her some reasonably rosy cheeks. Maybe a little bit further up? I don't know. And what you can do is you can then go in with a darker colour. What is this? It's magenta. Might be a bit bright, but it'll probably be okay. You just go lightly. And just make it kind of so that, you know, her blush goes, you know, from the side of her face all the way up. If that makes any sense at all. No, this is a really, really bright colour. So you do want to be careful. And I'm going to go back in with the Peach Puff and I'm going to go over it. And kind of just work that in a bit. Same on this side. Okay, so I think we're, you know, starting to get to the point where I am reasonably happy with this. Like I said, I can, you know, work on skin for hours, so you can just keep playing with it for as long as you want, really. So I'm just going to go over everything with the Peach Puff. Now you still do want to keep your highlights. So hitting the camera, but you might not want them to be quite so stark. It just depends, you know, on the kind of effect you are going for. So at the moment, this chin is looking a bit too drawn in, I guess. I want to kind of just fade this out a little bit if I can. Let's go in with Let's see if we can make these circles I've done on the nose a little less obvious. Don't know if that's working. Let's see. Okay, I need a bit more colour over on this side of her face. So I am now starting to press a bit heavier. Still don't like this chin. Maybe I need to go back in with a light peach a little bit. Let's try that. That's getting there, I think. I hope I've been on camera, by the way. I really hope I have been. Maybe the bottom of the chin may not have been. I'm not entirely sure. I apologise if it wasn't. So as you start to get to the point where, you know, you're kind of happy with how it is, you can start to press a bit harder and kind of start to burnish just a little bit, but don't do it unless, you know, unless you're sure you're not going to really want to put many more layers on or anything. Still not overly happy with this nose. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess no noses are difficult. They really are. Maybe that's just a bit too light. Let's try going into Peach Puff. That's a little better, I think. Not quite pleased with that. So I think I want to bring out that blush a bit more, so I am actually just going to go with the magenta. and just be really, really light with it. Now I know that probably looks awful at the moment. And then we'll go back in with the peach puff. I think that needs to be a bit less of a thing. Lips. I never know what to do with lips. So we're going to go in with some of the magenta. And again, I've always been taught that your lips kind of have three almost kind of pillowy shapes. And that kind of helps you decide kind of where to put your highlights, your shadows. But I can never get it to look right, so I'm probably forgetting something. I'm not entirely sure. And I'm going to go in blush pink. And apparently you just completely forget everything I just said about, you know, how you want them to look pillowy and so on and so forth. But that's fine. I am pretty sure this video is long enough as it is. So we'll just do kind of simple. You know, just something simple. Let's see how it kind of looks. So eyes, I am no good at. I don't know how to do eyes. I'm awful at eyes. So I'm not going to try and, you know, do them. Maybe going a bit more of the Arrtx brown. This is kind of what I mean by I'll just keep going and going and going with skin tones. And in my opinion, the longer you kind of spend, you know, layering it up and everything, the the better it is going to look. The same, you know, goes for hair, really. Like, the longer you spend on hair, you know, doing all of your layers, doing your flicks and your strands and all of that, the better hair will end up looking. It's going a bit darker. Maybe go back into grey, sorry, the wisteria, not grey lavender. Okay, I think that's looking alright. Now I am just going to go in with my, my calendar. No, this is a Derwent blender. And I'm just kind of going over everything. Just to kind of smooth things out a little bit. Because, you know, we don't really want any obvious lines. So, doing this will just help with that. I mean, if you wanted to, you could always do this with, you know, a lighter colour pencil. I find it handy to use a blender, you know, when I've kind of got it where I want it. Like, if I don't want to add any more colour, or, you know, change the tone or the colour, or, you know, any of that stuff, then I will just go in with a blender to smooth everything out. Still not overly happy with that chin, but it will do. Let's go with lips. So, I don't know how often I'll be putting one of these videos out. I think it'll just kind of depend on when I feel like doing, you know, doing a skin tone kind of thing. But if you do have any requests for, you know, pencils to use, or the skin tone you would like to see, then pop a comment down below and I am more than happy to, you know, next time I decide to do one, to pick from suggestions if there are any. Okay, so I think I'm reasonably pleased with that. Can you see? Yes, you can. So yeah, you know, I haven't done the neck because that's just going to take way longer. But for now, just kind of see if you can see it all. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with how that went. So that is how I do a pale skin tone with your excuse me, with your more kind of pinky undertones. What colour are you? Where do you go? I don't know where that's supposed to go. Anyway. So yeah, I hope this was potentially helpful for some people. Please let me know in the comments below if it was. And yeah, if you could like, comment and subscribe, I would be forever grateful. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you everyone. Bye.